And this is a place that kind of holds some special memory for you. I'm Kevin Eckerberry. I'm back here with Coach Carl Thorne, and once again, I appreciate it.
This is Kevin, and welcome to this week's edition of Kevin's Corner. A lot has changed at LaGrange Academy over the years. The school has gone through numerous headmasters, facilities have been torn down and constructed, and thousands of students have come and gone. There has been one constant at the school over the decades, though, and that's the presence of Charles Parker. Coach Charles Parker came to LaGrange Academy 40 years ago, and he has never left. Charles Parker knew early during his tenure that LaGrange Academy was a special place, and although he has had numerous opportunities over the years to leave, he has never seriously considered going to another school. LaGrange Academy is Coach Parker's home, and he is grateful that he has been able to spend the past 4 decades leading student athletes at the school. It didn't take Coach Parker long to make his mark at LaGrange Academy. Just a few years into his coaching tenure, he led the boys basketball team to a state championship, and there was a lot more success to come. Charles Parker has coached a number of sports at LaGrange Academy, but he is most closely associated with the softball program that has been a state powerhouse for decades. Coach Parker has led the softball program to numerous state titles, and he is hoping there are more to come. Coach Parker is also the LaGrange Academy Athletics Director, and he oversees an overall athletic program that is thriving. In 2024, in fact, Coach Parker was named the GIA Athletic Director of the Year, making him the first person from LaGrange Academy to win that award. Beyond the wins and losses, Coach Parker is thankful that he's been able to make an impact on so many students over the years. One of those students, Lucy Wynn, was there for her former coach when he needed her most. In the summer of 2023, Lucy donated a kidney to Coach Parker. Coach Parker had been ailing and was in dire need of a kidney, and Lucy arrived at his house on Christmas Eve of 2022 to let him know that she would be thrilled to be there for her former coach. It was a precious gift, and one that Lucy was more than happy to provide for someone who means so much to her. That's the kind of impact Coach Parker has made and continues to make as a coach and educator. Coach Parker feels better than ever, by the way, and he's looking forward to coaching for many years to come. I had a great time talking with Coach Charles Parker, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. All right, hey everybody, we're here at LaGrange Academy on Charles Parker Field, which is really cool. We happen to be talking to Coach Charles Parker. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. What a beautiful day.
It's unreal. We were talking as we filmed this 1 week ago today. This whole field was covered in snow. And now a week later, it's 70 degrees, almost sweating a little bit. I prefer this myself.
That's Georgia weather.
Winter in Georgia. But it's so good to see you, Coach. And I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Coach Parker, somebody I've known you for quite a while. I know our family came to LaGrange in 2002, so it's been really fun to get to know you and follow your coaching path here at LaGrange Academy. My daughter went to school here, Rachel, and she's very fond of Coach Parker. She graduated in 2020. But first of all, the most important thing, Coach, I know obviously it's been a challenging couple of years for you in a lot of ways, but the big question is right now, just tell us how you're doing.
I am doing great. Obviously I had kidney transplant
right
in May of 2023.
Wow. Yeah.
And I am doing great. I'm almost back to 100%.
Right.
I get out and work in the yard and go work on the ball field
right
now. So right now everything is great.
Well, we were telling before you film, you feel like decades younger right now, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever feel like this again.
Right.
But, I feel like I'm 40 years old.
Yeah, that's amazing. Obviously, like I mentioned, we're here at Charles Parker Field. First of all, I remember the day when they dedicated the softball field for you. That had to be kind of an overwhelming moment for you. What was that like?
Well, I really had no idea what was going on.
Right.
To tell you how oblivious I was, I came down to the field.
Uh-huh.
There was nobody down here.
Wow.
And I never even noticed the sign
right
covered up.
Right.
I didn't pay any attention to that. And
yeah.
All of a sudden, I looked up and I said, "What in the hell is that up there?"
Yeah.
Of course, they surprised me with that.
Right.
Yeah, it's such amazing. I know how much this school and this field and this community means to you. It's pretty remarkable to me to think you've been here almost 5 decades now, pretty close to 50 years. I believe it's 45 years.
It's 40.
40 years. Okay, this is 40 years, which is still a pretty long time, Coach. And obviously, I know we've talked before with the success you've had. You had opportunities to go other places, other schools, but this is home for you. LaGrange Academy is home. Just to be able to be a part of this school and this community for so long, just how much does this school, how much does this place mean to you, Coach?
Well, Kevin,
Yeah.
I've had a number of opportunities, not lately, 'cause
Sure.
I've been on up in age now, but to leave. But, this place, for lack of better words,
Right.
has grown on me.
Right.
We have a great school. Of course, our
Yeah.
school's not for everybody.
Sure.
But we have a great school, and, at this point now, this is just where I'll retire.
Right.
I have no desire to retire.
Right.
Because I feel so good.
Right.
But, yeah, the school's very important to me. I mean, I come out here on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. I'm out
Right.
by myself most of the time.
Right. Yeah, of course, a little bit later, we'll kind of follow your coaching path here at LaGrange Academy. People know you as a softball coach, but you've coached a bunch of different sports here at the school.
I first came here as a basketball coach.
Right.
And won a state championship in it.
Yep.
And then I started the baseball program.
Yes.
Won 2 state championships in it. So I've been very fortunate.
Right. No doubt. 40 years goes by pretty quickly too. I know when you're younger, 40 years seems like that's an eternity. Now you look back and it doesn't seem that long.
Well, I don't even really feel like I'm 70
Right.
anymore.
Right.
It seems like I've only been here, 10, 15 years.
Right.
Everybody says, how have you been there for 40 years?
Right.
Well, I just didn't get run off.
Right, there you go. And this made you think about those 40 years, the changes at the school over the years. You've seen a lot of coaches come and go, a lot of headmasters come and go, but also being the athletics director here at LaGrange Academy, I feel like right now you really have an outstanding across-the-board coaching staff, and the overall athletic program is doing really well. So how proud are you of right now of kind of the state of the athletic program and having coaches that you feel really good about?
Well, being an athletic director, if you've got good coaches,
Right.
then you'll be a good athletic director.
Right.
now, we have real good coaches that coach every sport. Of course, we have to depend on some outside help a
Sure.
little bit,
Right.
but not very much. And, I had that program, are doing real well right now. Volleyball made it as far as they've ever
Right.
been.
Yes.
Basketball team, lately I had won 10 in a row.
Right.
Which I cannot remember the last time we won.
It's
10
been
in a
a
row.
long time.
It's been
Yes.
a long time. So, things are on the upswing
Right.
now for us.
Yeah, you mentioned basketball. Coach Gaylor is, again, one of my favorite people. I had the good fortune to get to know his dad when I first started out in sports writing. So, and that just kind of brings me to this next topic. When you're looking for coaches, obviously you want people who know the X's and O's, know the sport, but you also want people are going to have the best interests of the students here at the school. And we mentioned Coach Gaylor, and across the board, I feel like you've done that. How important is that to find people who, again, not just know the sport, but are going to be great additions to the school and to the community?
Well, winning and losing.
Yeah.
Winning's great.
Right.
But when you have coaches that, spend time with the kids.
Sure. Right.
One thing we have here is that, all of our coaches know every kid that plays every
Absolutely.
sport.
Right.
So, we have kids that will say, Coach, I'm going to be 15 minutes late for practice.
Right.
I got to go get help.
Right.
And that's fine with us.
Right.
We probably don't have very many kids who are going to be professional athletes.
Right.
But we have a lot of kids who are going to go and get a college education.
Right.
To me, that's more important than
Right.
any kind of sports. The good education they're getting.
Sure. And it can happen. You never know with the profession. I know a former LaGrange Academy basketball player, Nick West, is actually,
He's playing overseas.
Yeah, doing great.
And he's doing
Yeah.
tremendous right now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, which is so cool to see. and I think so many the students here at LaGrange Academy play sports. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's really high. That's something y'all really stress here. You want people, it's not a mandatory thing, but you really encourage them to be involved in sports, because sports is such a great teaching tool, isn't it? Again, beyond the wins and losses, again, the lessons you learn from playing sports are so valuable, aren't they?
We probably have, especially in middle school, we probably have 90% of our student body that play some kind of sport.
Wow.
In middle school. And in high school, it's probably not far behind it. I would say probably middle 80% play some kind of a sport.
Right.
And we, other than football, we have every sport, that, we now have clay target.
Wow, okay. Right.
So we have, every sport that all the other big schools have, pretty much.
Yeah, LaGrange Academy actually used to have football, I believe. It's been decades, but that's a hard sport to maintain, though, isn't it?
I started the football.
Okay.
And we played for 5 years.
Right.
And believe it or not, we never had a losing season.
Wow. Right. Right. Again, that's such a challenging sport to maintain, especially at a smaller school. But and I'll tell you a really cool thing. During basketball season, I know something you were really involved with, getting a Hall of Fame started here at LaGrange Academy, and I was able to be here that night for the ceremony, which was really fun. Just how much did it mean to you to get that started, and probably one of the most enjoyable parts of that was just going through the process of finding out who you wanted to be involved with that, but to get that going, get it started, that must have been really fun for you, Coach.
It was. I went back. It took me right at almost a year.
Wow.
To finally get it all.
Holy cow.
I started it by going back to the earlier year.
Okay.
I've been here since 1984.
Right.
So I only really missed about 6 years.
Okay.
Where we played sports, and I had to do some investigating with some people who had went to school here and knew these people. Had to go back and find stats on them and all that.
Right.
And then from 84 on, I pretty well knew a lot of the kids and what they had done here. But what I did was compile all the stats that were there. And then we had 3 more on a committee.
Okay.
And I said, here are the stats. You helped me pick them out, and that's what we did. But it was I didn't think it was going to take me as long.
Right.
It took quite a while to get it.
Well, we're talking, again, almost 50 years worth of sports here at LaGrange Academy.
Yeah.
So trying to narrow that down for the first year was really challenging. But how much fun was that for you, though, just to go back and, again, you've been a part of that history, but to go back and maybe remember things that you kind of forgotten, and to go back, oh man, I remember that from 1990. Was that really fun for you, just to kind of go through the history of LaGrange Academy sports?
It really was. There are some of those boys and even the girls and stuff I have not really communicated with in the last 15 or 20 years.
Right.
And then when I go back to the yearbook, I said, good Lord, I remember all these people. And all that. So, that's how we kind of got it all started.
Right. I remember that night. Again, that was such a fun night. And I was able to see some people I hadn't seen in years as well. I know he wasn't a part of the class because Matt Dalrymple was there that night to see some of his guys. What was that like for you to see people that, like you said, you had not seen in years and probably decades in some cases?
Probably half of those kids I had not seen or even heard from, in 10 or 15 years.
Right.
To see them come back and said, good Lord, I remember he only weighed like 150 pounds. And, it was great, and we're going to keep that going.
Right.
We'll add another class this coming December.
Right.
Nowhere near as big as this
Sure.
one, but we'll keep it going.
Yeah, no doubt. And of course, a little surprise for you that night too. At the very end of the ceremony at halftime, they said, well, we've got one more person to honor. And they said, remember a member of the inaugural LaGrange Academy Hall of Fame class, Coach Charles Parker. And again, that's something you mentioned. You had no idea that was going to happen, did you?
I did not. The agreement that I made with the other 3 people on the committee was that if you put me on it, would you please wait till I retire?
Right.
Because I really would be embarrassed.
Right. And they wanted no part of that.
They didn't want any part of that. But They kept it a secret.
Right.
Even the person who did the plaques,
Wow.
I see all the time, kept it a secret from me.
Right. Yeah. Again, what a special night. And again, just to me, that moment was all about people who care about you, people who have been there for you over the years. For you, was that the most satisfying thing, knowing that you're surrounded by people who love you and care for you? That's really impactful, isn't it?
Well, it kind of put me to tears.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was great. A lot of those people hadn't even been around the school in a long time.
Right.
I mean, they were totally shocked.
Right.
When they come back and see what's happening.
Right.
Now I hope we can keep them coming back.
Right.
Here.
Right. Absolutely. I also wanted to ask you, it's an exciting time here at LaGrange Academy. You look at all the changes here, obviously a new building. How nice has that been for you? Because it's probably time for some upgrades and to see the community invest in this school, and obviously it's all about the students. But this had to be really fun for you to see all the improvements here on campus.
Well, when you look at your gym door for 40 years and you've seen a white house and it's no longer there anymore, you see a $5 or $6 million building.
Right.
I tell you what, it's fabulous in there.
Right.
I mean, it really looks great, and they did a great job building that thing.
Right. Right. No doubt. And obviously, we're here on the softball field, but the athletic facilities here at the school obviously have a great baseball field up there. And again, that's really important too, isn't it? Because that lets the students know that, we're going to give you everything you need to succeed, and to have athletic facilities here at the school that are first class. That's really important, isn't it?
Well, school our size, we probably have some of the best facilities, in a smaller school around anywhere, even in the state. So yeah, we like to keep up with them. It attracts kids,
right?
So when they look good.
Yeah, and of course you're particularly partial to the softball field here.
I also work on the baseball.
Absolutely.
So it's everything's coming together. All the fields look real good, and we're getting ready to do tons of work to the gym this summer.
Okay.
Maybe we can elaborate on that in a little bit. So.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Well, this has been really fun. We got a lot more ground to cover, Coach. But once again, Coach Charles Bruck, I really appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Welcome to First Impression Salon, where we provide a relaxing styling experience for your hair care needs. You can also be styled in the dressing room boutique for your desired look in-store and online. Visit us today at First Impression Salon, where we are dedicated to enhancing your natural beauty.
Welcome to Looking Good, the king of high fashion. Come see us at Looking Good, so when you leave out, you'll be looking good.
The Mattress Suite, located 900 Hogansville Road, Suite G. Easy financing. Will they deliver?
We can deliver that same day. We have payment plan based off of a checking account, 90-day payoff, no interest. We try to keep all mattresses in stock as far as queen and king. So if you see it in king on the floor, we have it in queen and king in the back. Accessories, mattress protectors, pillows. We do keep a certain amount of twin and full in stock. Of course, you want something special order, we can order special orders, different sizes. And we do price match. Pricing starts from $99.
Come see Valerie and Stanley Hurd at the Mattress Suite, located at 900 Hogansville Road, Suite G in LaGrange, Georgia.
All right, hey buddy, this is Kevin back here at LaGrange Academy and Charles Parker Field. We're actually in one of the dugouts now, the visitors' dugout, right? So you probably don't sit over here too often.
I only come over here when I have to clean it up.
There you go. There you go. It's amazing. You've coached a bunch of games here over the years, and I tell you, we'll talk more about some of your coaching history later. But one of my favorite memories from here was y'all beat Flint River to win a state championship. Just one of the most incredible games I've ever seen. Back and forth. I think y'all ended up winning.
Yep.
Winning in extra innings.
Yeah, we did. And actually, the girl that got the winning hit hadn't hit the ball real well. She was a senior, hadn't hit the ball well all year long. And to be honest with you, she had to take signal on.
Oh my gosh.
She had to take signal on, and she hit the ball right center field. That, we won the game with that hit. So,
I guess you forgave her for missing the sip.
I sure did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's okay. Again, just so many moments. And in one of those state championships you won, I believe your daughter Kaylin was on one of those teams, and I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah.
To not only win a title, but do it with your daughter on the team. That's pretty special.
Well, she was a senior that year, which made it even more
what
special.
A team that was.
Yeah, that team was good. Those are the kind of teams where I knew if we scored one run, we stood a good chance of winning, because we had such good pitching.
The child sisters won it.
Yep.
But obviously, Coach, we touched on a little bit about at the start. Health-wise, it was, you're doing great now, which is awesome to see. But it was a challenging time for you. Obviously, you ended up having a kidney transplant, and just amazing to me, one of your former players here at LaGrange Academy, Lucy Wynn, actually donated her kidney to you. And I know as a coach, you hope you make an impact on people. And for that to happen for you, for one of your former students, one of your former players here at LaGrange Academy, to take that step, that's just incredibly overwhelming. And you can never express enough gratitude for that, can you?
I will never ever be able to replace, to thank her.
And she was thrilled to do it.
Oh yes, she was thrilled, and she actually did it behind my back. Wow. Seems like everybody does stuff behind my back.
Yeah.
The only person that really knew that she was going through the 3, 4, 5, 6 month procedure was my daughter Kaylin.
Oh wow.
She had told Kaylin what she was doing about the 1st of September that year. And then, of course, that Christmas Eve of 2023, she come knocking at my door, and I haven't talked or seen Lucy in 8 or 10, 12 years.
Right.
And I kept thinking, why is she knocking on my door at Christmas Eve afternoon, But that was a great knock, I tell you. So,
it meant a lot to you. I knew talking to her, it meant as much to her. But let's go back. When did you kind of realize that something's not quite right?
Well, I knew that I didn't feel real well. Right. It's now been 12 years ago now.
Been dealing with that long.
And finally, my wife said, you're either going to go get a physical or I'm going to drag you to get a physical.
It can be hard for some of us. I know. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to the doctor and they did blood work. And the regular doctor come back and said, Coach, I think you got some chronic kidney disease. He said, I'm going to refer you to a kidney doctor. And I said, okay.
That's a scary conversation. That's
It's about as scared as I think I have ever been. And then it just persisted. I started off with chronic kidney disease stage 2, and then right before my kidney transplant, I was at stage 4. The day before my surgery, my kidney function was right at 10%.
Gosh. Yeah. Right.
And it was hard for me to even, come to school, and and I just fought through it, and really didn't tell anybody what was going on, so, but, and then, it happened, and my kidney doctor said, Coach, you're in great health except for your kidneys. You would be a great person for a transplant. And I said, let's go for it. That's what it took. And that procedure, going through all that, was, it's from head to toe. So it was pretty strenuous to go through that kind of physical to get a kidney transplant. So
yeah, I can't imagine. But again, we mentioned Lucy. Obviously, she was there for you. Your wife Teresa was there for, obviously, your daughter Caleb, and just the entire community. Not just LaGrange Academy, but the LaGrange Troup County community.
Oh yeah.
To have so many people there for you, Coach. That had to mean so much, and it probably gave you a little extra motivation. I need to be there for these people because they're counting on me. But just to see that outpouring of support from the community, how much did that mean to you, Coach?
Well, here again, I didn't know what they were doing again about. There was a GoFundMe account. Yeah. The only person that knew about it was Teresa, and there were people who gave money. I didn't really know who they were. Wow. They were in the community, and they gave money to us because I basically we had to stay in a hotel 7 days after my transplant.
Right.
They did not want me to come back to LaGrange.
Right.
When you start talking about $200 a night, and it gets really expensive. But yeah, getting back to Lucy, I was extremely tough on her when she played for me. I've been extremely tough, and she's just my angel. I got part of her in my body now. We tell everybody I'm running on spare parts. So, but yeah, it was very, very special.
How much, you mentioned you and Lucy, you still talk a lot, don't you? You keep in contact with her pretty regularly?
We talk at least 3 or 4, 5 times a week. Both of her kids go to school here.
Okay.
She's actually going to be our middle school tennis coach.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yes. So I kind of like to keep her close to me, So.
Well, we're kind of joking before we started filming. She wants to check in on her investment too, right? Make sure it's doing okay.
Yes. When I have blood work, I have to do blood work still once a month. And she knows when I do it. She's calling and checking on me. So.
Right. I know. I tell you what, I could not get by without my wife Julie. She means everything to me. Gone through tough times, to have that support is incredible. I can't imagine what that means for you, to have that kind of support, somebody to lean on, somebody to cry with, to have your wife Teresa be with you every step of the way. I just can't imagine. You probably can't even put into words how much she means to you.
I finally, after 4 or 5 days in hospital, and I could finally get up, and walk. I said, look, go home for the night. No, I'm not going home. Not going home. We had to, they had to eat out all the time. And I could not have done it, without her. Then when I came home and my body rejected the kidney, so I had to go back for 5 more days. And she was there every step of the way for me. And, I'll tell you what, she's unbelievable. And so was my daughter. Kelly missed work for a week to 10 days to be with me, and we finally had to just tell her, go back to work. And, But they meant a lot to me.
It's got to be challenging too to make sure. I know you want to keep a positive mindset through everything, but when you have setbacks or that kind of thing, it's I'm sure your doctor's probably mentioned this to you. It's important to maintain a positive mindset. That can probably be challenging, can't it? To try to keep that positivity every day.
One of my former coaches when I was in high school always had a statement. He said, you can take a setback and turn it into a comeback.
Right.
And, that's what I've done. And
Yeah.
but yes, it's I mean, I just feel so good right now. I mean, out here today, I wish we had softballs going on around.
It won't be too long.
Won't be long, yeah.
And the really amazing thing to me is throughout all this, you kept coaching. You know, you stayed out there and you kept fulfilling your athletic director duties. I know you were following the basketball team around when they're winning state championships. So how important was that for you? Obviously, you couldn't be there every day.
No, I couldn't be there every day.
But when you could, I know you wanted to be at the school. You wanted to be in the dugout. How important was that for you?
Well, I finally, after the transplant in May of 23, you know, we started softball practice in June.
Not too long after.
Obviously, I couldn't be there for a while, but after the 4th of July, the doctors finally said, okay, you can go out to the field, but you can't get on the field. You got to sit in the dugout. Well, that was miserable
That
for
wasn't
me.
gonna work too long.
But well, I did what the doctors told me to do, and also that whole year I could not coach the bases. I had to sit in the dugout. So I did what they told me to do.
Right.
And but it was tough. So, yeah.
No doubt. I know you've always, obviously you love coaching. You would not have done it for this long if you didn't. But when you go through something like this, and you come out the other side, you almost have even more of an appreciation, because I'm sure there were times when you thought, I might not be able to keep doing what I love doing. And when you realize, okay, I'm going to be able to keep coaching, did it almost kind of strengthen your appreciation and love for doing this?
Not only softball, but every sport, every sport we have. You know, that was the one thing I was worried about, was that I may not be able to work anymore, may not be able to coach anymore. And I told the head that, hey, look, if I don't make a full recovery, I'm just going to hang it up. But you know, I'm here, and I'm not going to hang it up anytime soon. So
and obviously, you mentioned to have the support of the school. The headmaster at the time obviously was there for you. Your fellow coaches here at the school. I'm sure their attitudes, whatever you need, coach, just to let us know. How much did that mean to you to have the support of the folks here at the school?
Well, it was great. I mean, phone calls, text messages. You know, we were on Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook person, but Teresa would show me, hey, look, you got 300 and somebody people commenting on you getting out of the hospital, and say, good Lord, you know. So you really don't know what's out in the community, you know. And we have a great community here. I mean, even some of the other coaches at the other schools, you know, were checking up on me and wanting to know how I was doing. So, yeah, it meant a lot. All the teachers here, you know, I missed my first graduation ever in May of 2023. And, of course, they surprised me again. You know, they had on the green ribbons that signifies kidneys, and they all wore that at graduation that night. So they did that. So, you know, it was just another surprise, you know. So
yeah, that's amazing. Just going down a different path here real quick, Coach. So, of course, you've been in LaGrange for so long. This is your home, but you didn't grow up here. You grew up in Mobile, Alabama. Just tell me what high school did you go to there?
I went to Viger High School, which is really located in Pritchard, Alabama. I lived in a little town north of Mobile called Chickasaw. And at that time, the Viger High School and Murphy High School, which were two of the biggest public schools in Alabama, had the record for the largest crowd to attend a high school football game. Yes, that was back, a lot of these people don't know, that's back when Scott Hunter was the quarterback at Viger High School, who went on and quarterbacked at Alabama. Yes, yeah. So, you know, I started off playing like everybody now. I played t-ball when I was 5 years old, and I knew right then the coach that I had, I knew right then I wanted to be a coach.
Right.
You know, that was, and it was in my blood. You know, then I left and I played 4 years of college baseball.
Where did you play, Coach?
I played at the University of Model Valley. Actually, where Kayla, my youngest daughter's working right now.
Comes full circle.
Comes full circle. Yep.
But did you growing up was baseball kind of your sport?
Baseball was my only sport. Back in the 60s, you know, you played just, you know, my baseball coach didn't even want us playing football.
Right.
You know, and we didn't lift weights.
Right.
I mean, weights were really non-existent when you
Right.
played baseball back in the 60s. And, I mean, it was baseball, 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 baseball. Especially in Mobile. So.
Your background's probably kind of like mine. I love baseball when I was growing up, but the way we played then is we just got together in the neighborhood. And it's now, of course, everything's really kind of organized. Some of my favorite memories are just getting together with my buddies in a neighborhood field and just playing baseball. I'm sure it was the same way for you.
I lived on the end of I lived right on a dead end street. It had a big old empty lot, and that was our baseball field.
Yeah.
We did almost every day. You know, we were down there even after we got through with, our little league ball. We'd still go play ball. So
I'm sure even now those memories probably still stand out for you, don't they?
Well, Mom and Dad, you don't come in the house. You didn't come in the house then. You stayed out till it got dark.
Right.
When it was time to eat supper, you came in.
Right. Sun goes down, it's time to go home.
That's right. Time to go home. Yeah.
But obviously, eventually you made your way to LaGrange, and you've been here ever since.
I've been here ever since.
We're going to talk about that when we come back. Thank you, Coach.
My name is Robert Talley, and I'm the owner and operator of RNF Tours, located here in LaGrange, Georgia. Been working with Pro Wheel for several years. They have helped me in several ways as far as setting up my authority, getting everything in order that I need to get in order as far as doing my fuel taxes. They take care of all of that for me. I think there's a good company to work with. They have a complete company that would do all of the paperwork for you, that it would eliminate you trying to do any of the work.
So when customers come in, most of the time they are looking to get a DOT number or maybe their authority. So an agent will take care of them here, and we go over everything they need from their weight. We ask several questions, so therefore just by our questions, we're able to tell how to quote them what you need. So we can do everything to keep your business in compliance.
I have also told several people about this company and hoping that they will be able to come by and they'll be able to get some of the business here.
Attention restaurant owners. Total Restaurant Equipment ownership is retiring. 20,000 square feet of inventory must go. First come, first serve. Upgrade your restaurants and kitchens today. Total Restaurant Equipment store closing sale. 3940 Victory Drive in Columbus.
Welcome to First Impression Salon, where we provide a relaxing styling experience for your hair care needs. You can also be styled in the dressing room boutique for your desired look in store and online. Visit us today at First Impression Salon, where we are dedicated to enhancing your natural beauty.
All right. Hey, buddy, this is Kevin back with Coach Charles Parker. Once again, Coach, I really appreciate you doing this. This has been so much fun. We're actually in the home dugout now, so you probably feel a little more comfortable over here.
I feel a lot more comfortable being over here. I really do, yes.
You spend a lot of time. Actually, usually your spot, I think you're sitting on one of the chairs. It looks like it's over there. It's seen a lot of use over the years.
Well, the one that's broke belongs to me. So, yeah.
Sentimental value.
Yes.
Right. Before the break, we were talking, Coach, about obviously about your background in Alabama, go to Montevallo. Just tell me how did you end up here in LaGrange, and especially at LaGrange Academy?
Well, I was coaching in Jackson, Alabama.
Okay.
And
in high school there? Or?
I was coaching in high school, a school that's in the Alabama Prep School Association.
Okay.
And I heard about this job up here, and actually, LaGrange Academy hired me as the boys basketball coach.
Okay.
Because the boys basketball coach was leaving, and I'd only coached middle school for a few years. And I said, well, I don't know about that. And they said, well, you can try it. So I did, and actually 2 years later, we won state championship.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, anytime, I know, especially when I was kind of starting out in my career, at that time you figure, well, I'll be somewhere a couple years and then maybe move somewhere else. When you came to LaGrange Academy, I'm sure at that time you're not thinking 40 years later somewhere I'm still going to be. But did you kind of realize early on, this is a place I feel really comfortable. This is a place I could raise a family here. Did you feel pretty early on that this is somewhere I could be for quite a while?
Well, I never thought I'd be here 40 years, but yes, from the beginning, everybody made me feel comfortable here, and just now this is my home now. So it's a great school. The athletic program, of course, like all athletic programs, have its up and downs, but I'm just happy as I can be to be here right now.
Right. Well, what's that like winning a state title in basketball? I guess especially when you weren't sure if, I don't know if this is for me. And then a couple years in, you win a state title, which you've won quite a few of them in different sports, but there's nothing like that first one, is there?
Our basketball team was mediocre, to be best.
Yeah.
The tallest guy I had was maybe 6'1".
Right.
6'1", and but what we did, we jailed at the right time of the year. And to be honest with you, one of our varsity basketball players right now, Andrew Knight, his daddy Keenan Knight was on that state championship team.
Yeah.
So, yep, he was. And those guys just played together as teammates. And that's really what won it for us. We actually beat the number one ranked team in the semifinals. They were 25-0.
Wow.
And we upset them and beat them.
That's awesome.
And then we won the state championship game in triple overtime.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure even though it's been quite a few years, I'm sure you could still vividly remember that game, right?
I can remember the two free throws that won the game.
Good goodness. Yeah. And the LaGrange Academy basketball history here, something else. Great to see the program doing well. I can still remember the state championship game with Coach Dalrymple was the coach, and they lost on the last second shot.
Yeah. That one was a tough pill to swallow right there, but they had a good team and very well, should have and could have won the game.
But again, all those memories from winning championships and even seasons like that when you come close.
Yeah.
And just obviously we're here on the softball field, but I believe you were the coach when the softball program started here at LaGrange Academy.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Well, 2002.
Okay.
Maybe 2001. And actually, I was coaching baseball at the time.
Right.
And Martha and Todd, who was the head of our school, came to me at the end of the year and said, I'd really like for you to coach the softball team. I said, no, ma'am, I'm not interested. And she said, you don't quite understand. You are going to coach the softball team.
That's not really a question.
No, it wasn't a question. It was a you are.
Right.
So, and now, really, there's similarities between baseball and softball, other than, the pitching and, it's a little different, but you still got to field and hit it and catch it. So,
right, no doubt. In pretty short order, too. LaGrange Academy softball was winning big. When do you remember when the first state championship?
I can look at that on thing right there.
Yeah, there you go.
1998.
1998.
Yep,
yes.
That was the first state championship.
Yep, no doubt. Of course, 2000, 2005, 2006, on and on and on.
Yeah.
But what do you most remember about that first state championship in softball?
We were good.
Right.
But I'm not so sure we were really the best team, but the best team don't always win. And we were playing in Statesboro, Georgia.
Oh wow!
And we came out on top. I really don't remember a whole lot of it.
Right. Again, just one of those teams that finds a way when it matters most to come together, and that's really what championship teams are all about, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of, you mentioned you were a little hesitant to coach softball at the start, but over the years, obviously, you learned to love loved the sport. And now I'm sure you couldn't imagine being anything other than a softball coach, right?
No, I mean, it's probably more in my blood now than baseball ever was. And, you know, I just love being out here and, you know, just trying to teach the girls what I know about the sport. You know, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Of course, eventually, LaGrange Academy and all schools made the transition to fast pitch softball. Was that at the time, was that a challenging transition, or was it pretty smooth over here?
Well, actually, I was on the committee of 2 or 3 other people who actually said we need to make the change because the public schools had just gone to fast pitch. We were still slow pitch, and we finally said, look, we've got to make this change. So the first year, we had a fast pitch league and a slow pitch league. And then those slow pitch coaches knew 1 year, and that's it. Your transition to fast pitch. So that's where we're at now. So.
Right, no doubt. And obviously been thriving. You look at, gosh, those teams around 2005, 2006. Those are pretty special teams.
Oh, yeah. Those, I mean, the game of softball is all about pitching.
Right. Oh, my God.
And I have been very fortunate to have good pitchers, you know. And like I said earlier, I knew if we scored 1 or 2 runs, we were going to win the game.
Right. It's hard to really think about another sport that's so dependent on that one position. Really, if you have that one lockdown pitcher, then you just kind of build around that, and that's what those teams did. Right?
Yeah, as long as you got a good receiver, you know, a catcher, then you know you can win.
Right, no doubt. Of course, y'all won state championships at all different locations, and at the last segment, we talked a little bit about playing here at home, and of course, playing Flint River too. Which I mean, you think about 2 schools. Have faced off so many times over the years, so many different sports. Flint River, LaGrange Academy, you know, the atmosphere here was unreal for those championship games, and the stands were full. What was that like here?
Well, that was the only year that the higher seeded team got to host the state championship. We don't do that anymore. You know, we kind of put it on neutral ground now. And I mean, this whole play, I mean, there were even people out in the outfield watching the game, and I mean, they got their money's worth because it was a great game.
Yeah, and of course, the whole Flint River community, they show up.
Oh yeah, they're going to show up. Yeah. Yep.
No, I can talk about basketball. Of course, the Robbery's doing great now, but my gosh, when those 2 schools would play, the gym was just an absolute frenzy. Just so much fun.
It wouldn't have mattered back then if we were playing them in Tiddlywinks. It would have been a heated battle.
Yeah.
But over the years, it's kind of mellowed down a little bit. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I mean, we used to have pretty good security.
Right. You know? So you look at the sport of softball too, the way it's really grown in popularity, not just here but across the board. That's going to be pretty satisfying for you as well, because you're kind of in on the ground floor of the sport, and to see the way it's grown and to see the way you know, people have embraced it, that's been pretty fun to see, hasn't it?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's grown like crazy. But the other thing, just to change it a little bit, volleyball is really beginning to take a hold also. I mean, it has become so popular in our school. I mean, it's just taken off. So, but yeah, softball is still big everywhere.
No doubt. Of course, you mentioned baseball is kind of your first love, and I know you loved coaching baseball here as well. When you look back on those days, coaching over there at the baseball field, how much did you enjoy that?
Well, I was part of. Actually, none of this was here. There was where we're sitting right now was probably a 50-foot hole, and this land did not even belong to the school. And there was no baseball field, no soccer field, no softball field. And we purchased this land and had to bring in tons of dirt and stuff. But I actually was involved on building the softball field. They did it to my specifications, and we did it right. And it's small and quaint up there. I mean, you know, center field's only like 315 feet, so it's little, it's tiny. But I mean, it's kind of like being at Wrigley Field a little bit.
Now, where did y'all play back before you had the on-campus facilities? Where did y'all play?
We played at Dunson Park.
Okay, Dunson Park.
We did, and we actually shared with Coach Williamson and them at the college.
How about that?
You know, they would be there. I had to work my home schedule around their home schedule, and then their practices. I had to work around them, but you know, and then we finally got this built, and we've been here ever since.
With Dunson Park, you talk about a place with a lot of history.
A ton of history, even before I moved here.
Right, no doubt. I know you mentioned in the last way, you kind of knew pretty early on that you wanted to be a coach. Is that something you realized when you were playing? You were like, you know what, this is something I think I could see myself doing down the road. But how did that kind of play out for you?
Well, like I said earlier, when I first started playing, when I was either 4 or 5, somewhere in there, I just admired the coach that was teaching me how to play this game. And I kept saying, God, I sure would like to do what he's doing. And I mean, even through middle school and high school and even college, you know, I knew I wanted to be a coach. And that's what I studied to do. And actually, my college baseball coach got me my first coaching job. Got me my first coaching job at all. He did.
Now, what was that first coaching job out of college? I mean, you're always you're confident. Yeah, I think I could do this, but I guess you never really know for sure. So that first coaching job, was it everything you hoped it would be? You probably went in just a little bit nervous, I think. You never know for sure.
I wasn't a little bit nervous. I was a lot of nervous. They actually hired me to be the middle school baseball coach. And then my first coaching job, basketball, was middle school basketball. So I go from basketball in the winter to baseball in the spring. And, you know, I did that for a number of years. And finally, when I got older, I said, look, I can't keep doing all of this. So.
So I don't know how people managed to pull off that double-double. I know one of course, here in our community, Coach Dusty Hubbard. For a while, he would coach football in the fall, and then baseball right after. That can be an absolute grind for sure. But and one of the really great things about being a coach and being an educator is I can't think of many professions where you really get to make such a direct impact on the lives of student athletes and students in general. For you over the years, has that been, obviously, the championships are great, and you love winning as much as anybody, but knowing that you made a positive impact on the lives of these young people, for you, is that really the most satisfying part?
By far the most satisfying part. But what's even more special is when some of them come back and say, I didn't really think you were helping me, you know, back then. And he said, now, you know, they now appreciate everything you did for me. And that's better than any state championship. Yes.
Absolutely. We touched on the Hall of Fame, just heard a lot of these people you hadn't seen in such a long time. And when you see somebody may come back and visit and, you know, they've gone on to succeed in life, sports or not, but, you know, they've got careers, they've got families. What does that mean to you when you see somebody? And maybe they even say, you know, thanks, Coach Parker, you were part of that. I just can't imagine how impactful that is.
Well, I mean, I have 3 or 4 guys who played baseball for me. One of them is an orthopedic surgeon. One of them is a dentist. One of them is a lawyer. I mean, you know, back then I'd have said, no, these guys aren't going to be, you know, but they, you know, they were. So,
of course, one of those student athletes is your daughter. That's to see her succeed as she has, especially working at the school you went to, Monteballo. How proud are you of her? I just can't imagine to see her doing what she loves, first of all, to be chasing her dream and her passion. I can't imagine how much that means to you.
Well, it's very satisfying. Kaylin knew that she wasn't going to be a college softball player, but she knew she wanted to be around the field and all that. So she decided to go into sports medicine. She's an athletic trainer. And she did her master's work at the University of South Florida. And then she came back to the day she graduated, Montevallo hired her immediately. And she works with volleyball in the fall and she does baseball, which they're getting started right now.
Okay, yeah.
In the springtime, and she just wants to be outside, where she can be. So, and that's, but it's very satisfying. So.
I should add, she was a really good softball player too.
She made all region her senior year, but she wouldn't want to tell anybody that. She just played, and
she loved doing it.
She loved playing. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned you still have a passion for coaching, and you have no intention on hanging it up anytime soon. And just how, don't want to put a number on it, but you just want to, as long as you have a passion for it, as long as you're healthy, you just want to keep doing it and keep getting out here on the field and keep being there for student athletes, right?
Yes. I knew when I had to sit at home for 8 weeks after my surgery.
For me, right?
I said, nah, retirement is not for me. And so I have no plans to retire anytime soon. So I'm going to go as long as I can go.
Right. And you look at the softball program right now, kind of in a phase where it's mostly younger players.
Yes.
I think y'all are playing a middle school kind of a schedule.
We're playing a middle school.
Okay.
Now, next year we'll move up, have a JV. We'll be playing JV next year.
Yeah, but how exciting is that, though, to have a young core group of players that you can really build with? That's exciting, isn't it?
Most of these girls were 5th and 6th graders. We won 1 game.
Right.
Last year we won 12.
Right.
So they've improved every year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. Love being in the dugout. It kind of feels like home, doesn't it?
This is my second home right here. That's where I love. I come down here on the weekends and I'll sit in there and I'll find something to do.
Yeah, especially this day, 70 degrees, got a nice little breeze blowing in. It's not too bad. It beats being inside.
Yes, it does. It also beats being out here in August when it's 110 degrees.
No kidding. Well, this has been really fun, Coach Parker. I know you mean a lot to me. And like I said, my daughter went to school here. She loved having you here as one of her teachers. And I know I appreciate you. I know the community appreciates you. And hopefully we'll be watching you coach for a long time to come.
I hope so, yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thank y'all. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.